So the whole purpose of this video, I wanted to cover with you guys, if you recall, on the 10th, you can see that we kept hearing about the Great Reset, and we're about to flip the signal here in crypto. And I said June or July, and unfortunately, it happened way too soon, much sooner than what I even said. It was literally almost a week later that we were talking about this. And I said, no, I think it's going to see one more dip, big time, around the 30s. This was for XLM. So XLM was trading around 70 cents at the time. So that's much more than a 50% drop, as you can see. Um, and that's what we actually saw. I think, Carlos, you said it dropped down to what, 25?
For the whole market cap, I think it was like 42%.
Are you with me?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Hold on. I muted. Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. I muted my mic. For the whole market, it was 42%, I believe.
Yeah. And you said that XLM dropped all the way down to 25 cents at
Yeah,
one time,
25.
right?
Yeah. There was a 25-cent wick.
Okay. So yeah, and right here I said 30 cents. And then you said that's like 50%. I'm like, yep. Just be cautious on the trades. Drop down 50%. Imagine how much we can make on the way up. 510 again. When a signal is about to reverse, you see things happen. And what I'm talking about is when there's a signal, right, in the long term, whether you're looking at a daily or a weekly, there's always, unfortunately, I don't know if it's coincidence or if it's by plan and strategy, that someone comes out with the news to make that red signal go ahead and crash further. The 2008 stock market crash, I talked about it, that actually the red candle or the red signal hit in actually October 2007, and the crash didn't actually happen until September of '08. We saw the signal. People were just kind of starting to sell out, and then right over this point, I know it's hard to see. Um, I can actually just go into the chart, but I just want to show that I actually was showing what happened. I mean, this signal came in. We saw the Ichimoku cloud even turn red on us, and it really just traded sideways for a couple months, and then it just started to trickle down. And then right here was the huge drop off. Now, when I say that, the signals come in for us, um, and usually something comes out in the news that just makes it go ahead and happen. Now, whether that's coincidence or it just so happens people are seeing the same signal and then somebody says something or whatever the case may be, but we saw this within China, just the other day, they banned the exchanging of institutions and cryptocurrency, right? So that red signal had the confirmation and it went ahead and happened on the crash that day of the 18th. The charts still work for the weeklies and monthlies too. BTC is going to continue down, I guess, down to the bottom of that red candle. I'll explain that here in a second. All the way down to 40ish. And you even said 50% BTC back at to the 20 and 25,000 mark. We actually underestimated the 15 to 20% drop on that comment. Well, let's see. Obviously, 510, we're still talking about it. And I think that's pretty much it. So, what I want to share with you guys is what I was seeing that specific day and time. Let me back up here. Let me just fast forward. All right, so we're getting into the 10th, right? Um, what I start seeing is this candle or this signal right here has gave us a big bullish candle. Um, but if we take a look at the weekly and a monthly, it still looks green on us. But look at our RSI. We're maxed out, right? Right at this point, around February 8th. And then now we're starting to hit lower highs on the RSI even. Even though the candle is starting to climb on us and we're hitting higher highs in the chart itself, our candles our RSI is hitting lower highs. So that tells me the relative strength is starting to weaken out. And if you take a look, the 2 hourly, it was kind of a weak M forming. And when I talk about the M's, you usually have a crash down on that last leg. And on a W, it will be the reverse. It will be this, up, and then takes off. But the 4 hourly is what I was watching closely. And as this thing started doing this, you can see that the RSI made another lower high. Our daily, this green quicker line within the MACD had pointed down all of a sudden. And here's that M starting to take place in the daily. It's not looking like a W, it's an actually M now. So this told me that we're going to either test the 59 for XLM or even the 39, right? Now look what is happening within our daily. If we zoom in here, we've just got a yellow bar. It's no more green, dark green, and our RSI is starting to just go ahead and fade out. Now when you get below 50% or the 50 mark, that means now you're in a bearish territory. So we're going to just go ahead and continue. And actually, if you take a look at the Chiku span, look what it did. It just now hit. Now that tells me that the trend is over. We're getting into a bullish territory on May 12th. May 13th gave us a false hope, right? Kind of started going up again. But I had already knew from studies of the Ichimoku, once this hits and it can't shoot up out of here, it's pretty much done. This is May 17th, right before the bear happened. The weekly, look what it done. It gave us a red candle. When I say we're about to fall, I'm looking at zones right here for the weekly, which is now 46, 42, but then here's our 30 mark, right? Our slower green cloud. But the direction and the momentum speed that we're falling is more than likely to hit this area. This is 32, 30-ish territory versus over here. I mean, this thing would have to trade sideways and then gradually hit this mark, but I saw a definite drop in the weekly, the daily, the 4 hourly for sure. So then I start looking here. Here's the red signal that confirms that we're just go ahead and dropping. 2 hourly, same thing. I mean, this is, I talk about if this comes up and out, this is momentum. But look at this. This is slowly fading while this is still continuing to just kind of fade out too. So this is really not the best perspective to see when we're wanting to get into a position. This is telling me, yeah, it's just a slow bear coming in. But when I start looking at different times, I'm saying, okay, well, the slow bear's coming in, but this thing's starting to drop rather quickly when the 4 hourly. So all I'm saying is your 1 hourly and your 2 hourly, yeah, it's starting to slow down because look, I mean, it jumped from here to here. Of course, it's slowing down the momentum. There's still some bulls starting to buy to slow this thing down. But when you take a look at the 4 hourly, this thing just technically started. And look, it's not even dropped down below the MACD yet, like you see here. So then we just continue to watch this. And there it goes. I mean, it's just starting to plummet right there. So then there's a red cloud starting to take form. That's going to be a bad sign for us until this hits over to this trend. When the Chiku span hits our trend, then the trend is over. We take a look at RSI, we take a look at the green cloud, or not green cloud, but green bars, but we're not getting anything here. That's why I created this last squeeze, because this is a double confirmation and our trend. If we get green here, it better be green here. If it's green here, it also better be green here. It's green here, but not green here. Guess what? I'm not getting in a position, or I might short this. So now we're looking at live, and this is what it's doing today.
Yep.
It's dark green.
Yep.
It gave us a quick green, but then it's yellow again. So there's no good indication that the bears are done yet. I know people were hoping for that bounce back the yesterday and the day before, saying, we're rebounding, but then one of the guys, he commented and said it's possibly a dead cat bounce. That's where you have the bulls start buying up, up, but the bears are still not done selling off. They're waiting for that little increase so they can get a little bit more momentum going, and then they start selling again. That's all that is. That's a strategy. The institutions or whoever's the whales, they're not going to be selling 100% out of their positions. You always have a battle of the forces, right? You got some momentum going. Here comes a little bit of bulls, and now we're going back off, and vice versa. When there's a bull run, you got some little bit of pullback or a little small retracement, and you can see these in the Fibonacci retracements where the people are starting to take their profits, or some short sellers are coming in, and then guess what? The stock climbs up on us, or the crypto climbs back up on us. So it works both ways. Don't ever forget that the market is two ways. So there was the bear. We pulled back a little bit today, or the other day, yesterday, giving us a little bit of false hope, and then we're off to the races on to the downside a little bit longer. And I can't say how long. We're just going to keep watching these trends and watching this cloud come in to form. But as you can see, like I said, if this thing breaks on XLM, or even if you watch BTC, they all work together. I mean, if I take a look at Bitcoin right now, almost the cloud should look like what we're seeing in XLM. There we go. So we got this point right here. Right now, Bitcoin is up at, you look over here, this gives us our current, our high, and our low. So it's current, sorry, right here, current 39. If it drops to 37, yeah, Bitcoin's going to suffer some more. But look at the relative strength. So we're not all the way down below the green line. If we were, then I would have conviction that, yeah, it would stop here and continue up now. But we've got a little bit more stretch to go before this breaks. I mean, we take a look. Has Bitcoin ever hit the bottom of the RSI? Yeah, right here. And look what it did. Boom, it reversed. Right here, it reversed. But also look at the trend. This is a higher low. So that gave the bulls the momentum here. If we take a look here, yes, it actually didn't reverse. It went from 8,000 on down to 7,500, and then it took off. So don't always follow just one chart. That's why I've given you the Ichimoku, the MACD, the last squeeze, and the RSI. This would be a good indication. Yeah, the relative strength should be taking off. But look what happened. It actually dipped a little bit lower, even though our RSI was trending up. Now, what's that tell you as an experienced trader? It gives you confirmation that says, okay, I can get in now. I might take some risk, and this thing could drop down to the green line. But since this is starting to trend up, higher low, and then it took off. And then it dropped again. So here's these buy and sell signals. If you bought over here and sold over here, that's still a decent profit, even though you're within that green cloud. You bought here at 78, and now it's 88 at our sell signal, actually right here. Yeah, 88, 89. So all I'm saying is history repeats itself. The charts don't lie. We saw a red indication back here, gave us a little bit of time to get ready, and then it just dropped at this one. It didn't drop at this one. This was a red indicator. This got us watching it, right? The red indicator showed up, but where was our Chiku span? It wasn't here because remember, it's a lagging line. It gives you a little more indication and confirmation whether to actually get out and get in. So even though our sales signal came in, this was still green. So that's why again, the last squeeze gives us a double confirmation. Should we have gotten out? It showed here a red, but this is still showing green. So maybe if you're a little bit more risky, you can stay in. The Chiku span was probably over here somewhere. So it was needing to trade a little bit more sideways to finally touch this point. So when you're over here, yeah, now the Chiku span's starting to touch your trend. Then right here, it dropped. You could have stayed in if you're really risky, but what I see is I see this red sell signal. I see a positive, but it wasn't as strong as this over here, right? And then the second sell signal was a lower high, or a lower sell signal. So it's starting to trend down here, here, and here. this is high, this is higher, but now it's starting to fade out. Now it's below these two. So what's that tell me? The trend's probably going to be over soon. And sure enough, the crash happened. But what I'm saying is most of the population or majority of crypto traders, stock traders, they use some kind of Ichimoku, RSI, and even their most uh, advanced algorithms are funded on most of these same studies, what the majority of traders and investors use: RSIs, MACDs, and Ichimoku. That's why we can start calling this much more predictive, because the charts are read by the majority of people. When everyone sees the same thing, guess what? Action happens, and the majority of those actions are sells based on what we're all seeing at the same. That's all. And there's no science, there's no magic to this, there's no chart guruing. As long as you understand how to read charts, anyone can do this. I did it on the 10th, and this is why. This is how. Does that make sense? Any questions for you guys?
Nah, dude, I understand it. I get it.
Yeah, I get it.
But I also do feel it's
Well,
it's organized.
organized.
Yeah, that's why I say when you
Yeah.
see a red sell signal,
Yeah.
someone's going to force the hand of the market down when it happens. I told you in the stock market, right? It was 2007. It actually showed up. It took Squawk Box and all these big TV shows starting to talk about the Great Reset or the Great Crash to finally freak people out. It was fear mongering, which
Yeah.
caused everyone to sell out. So the crypto signal came in for us. China said they're banning, BTC, Bitcoin, from institutions to be able to hand out to their clients and vice versa to take in. And we can kind of put our heads together and say, well, maybe that was a plan to drive the Bitcoin prices down so they could hold it and gobble it all up for their clients. And then what do we see Wells Fargo do? Now Wells Fargo is introducing crypto strategy for their rich clients. Was that a way to Wells Fargo and all the Chinese-owned banks and American banks to get together and say, we need a way to buy this stuff up? It's in the Wells' hands. We need cheaper prices to give to our clients so we can make some money. And that's what happened.
Yeah, yeah. And it totally like if you look at the chart, dude, it totally does fit that Wyckoff. Like it was planned 4 months ago, bro. If you look at the Wyckoff and when it started,
What is it?
it matches the Wyckoff pretty much. Really close, bro.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Bro.
I mean, all you got to do is you see weekly, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, we're starting to level out here in weekly. So this was no surprise that this thing was bound to retrace. Now, if it continues down, yeah, it's going to hurt. But if it stops right here, well, guess what? This is the retracement to this point, anyways. This is the support line right here, which is exactly where it stopped. You wonder why stocks stop at certain points. Like if you read a candle, this is the lowest that it hit today or this week currently.
Yeah.
That's what that means. This is the highest price. This is the lowest point. This is the entry, right? Starting in the week, this is where the price started. This is where we're currently at. So if it continues to climb up, well, this wick will disappear and it will change. This candle will change. But all these lines are telling us this is the lowest Bitcoin got was 39,000. Well, look, it's pretty much right where the support line meets this last pull down. Well, that tells me, okay, this is a good support line. If we break this last pull down, then guess what? That's common sense to say, well, now we're turning into a crash. So technically, this was what's happened these last couple of days was just a small retracement. It's not really a crash until it crashes below this support line back here, which happened in January. So the first of the year we had that Bitcoin crash that everyone said. It went from 39 down to 29. It wasn't a crash. To me, these are not crashes. These are just simple pull downs.
Oh, yeah.
So to restore faith and hope in people, guys, this happens all the time. This is nothing new. These retracements have to happen. People aren't going to hold forever. There's going to be people that say, okay, I bought here at 15. It's at 66 or even at 58. I'm going to sell. And when the majority starts selling, these guys start selling. Okay, they take profits, they wait, they get back in here, and then it takes off again. Or the beginners who are getting into cryptocurrencies, they see Bitcoin drop from 60,000, and they say, well, now it's offered a hell of a discount at 19,000. I'm going to start buying again. It's not that people crash the market and it never recovers. I mean, there's always going to be people that get greedy, and there's always going to be people that are smart and take profits, of course. And then there's going to be the ones that get back in. It's just investing and trading. So the only thing I'm seeing is, I talk about this support line back here. Look what's happening in our charts, though. This thing hasn't even looked like this. Okay? This current weekly is still in the green. We're just now entering in a sell signal. This could mean, yeah, it's a false sell signal. This could turn green again. But look at our RSI. Look at everything involved that I'm talking about. Our 4 hourly, if our weekly looked like this, and this was red on our weekly, so if what I'm talking about is our 4 hourly, if this was all red already, and this was starting to turn yellow, yeah, this could reverse off the support, but we're just now entering into a bear. So are we going to break this support line? I'm assuming yes. In my opinion, this is going to crash on down. But have we hit, has the Chiku span hit over here to actually give us that for sure confirmation that, yeah, the trend is over? No. So all these variables should be taken into consideration. You have a Chiku span that hasn't hit the trend, so maybe there's a little bit of hope that this only drops to here and not turn more bearish, which is probably around this 27 zone, and we start to follow the green cloud back up. But then we take a look at the monthly and look what's happened. Now we're just now hitting into a bearish territory. Usually there's more yellow candles to follow. There's more dark green candles to follow, like right here. The RSI was maxed out here. Now it's looking bearish. This thing could reverse, but my assumption is it's not going to. It's going to fall down to here. You're going to see Bitcoin hit 13,000. Any questions? Any thoughts? Any opinions? Any feedback?
No, that'd be crazy if there's 13,000 Bitcoin. We'll have to wait and see, but yeah, that'd be crazy. Because then the whole market's going to follow.
This would be a big gap down. Currently, this line is freaking out. Like, look at this. This thing don't even make any sense. Obviously, there's no history to give you our conversions, but this conversion line was steady up to this point. It was starting to follow. Like, this is the life of Bitcoin, according to TradingView, this is what, 2000 and... You said Bitcoin started in 2009. So really, TradingView probably says we're not going to consider anything before 2014 because that's when the majority of the volume really started, was at this range. Well, $602 was Bitcoin. We hit 60,000. That's phenomenal. But now there has to be a pullback. There just has to be. And we saw it coming. I mean, right here. Anyone that can read a chart says this is way too much of a stair step, a straight up, to just continue. It's going to fall back down. And sure enough, we're seeing that. Institutions are going to even see it, and they say, we got to bring these prices down. The inflation of crypto is taking off way too fast. We need to slow it down to be a steady market, a steady economy, and everything. They don't want millions and millions of people being millionaires and billionaires. Can't happen. There has to be a two-way market. There has to be poor, there has to be middle class, there has to be rich class, or the economy can't survive that. If we're all rich, then where's the growth capabilities? Unfortunately, that's just life. There has to be yin and yang. So they're pulling it down. I see Bitcoin. I mean, this is a pretty strict gap down. I mean, but here it recovers. So really, I can't even base my thought off this. All I can say is this cloud is way down here to 22. Are we going to test this cloud? Most certainly. I mean, history shows that in Ichimoku clouds, hence why they're called Ichimoku clouds, you always are going to have the trend that goes below it, in it, and above it. We're still bearish here in the 4 hourly. Any thoughts?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, man.
Like,
It sucks to say that because if Bitcoin's going down that low, everything else will drag down. Well, you're going to see alts pump up a little bit, I think, before they really do. Um, Alts always get a little bit of pump from BTC once the BTC starts falling below its support. But then you're going to see alts automatically start dropping too into a bear if the bear is happening now.
Look how much
But
money
it's so volatile
has been
right now
lost.
too. It's exactly like Brian Brooks said last night while I was watching him, and he took over Binance. He was the OCC. He said that crypto's not going anywhere. It's volatile. And it's going to stay volatile right now as companies basically gain ground. You're seeing exactly basically like the early days of stocks. You're going to have this volatile market for a while. You're going to have companies that are ultimately going to end up, that are going to stay, and you're going to have cryptos disappear. Which he was talking about the companies like VeChain, Ripple. Yeah, I'm just wondering if because right now XLM, I'm wondering, it's looking like some of these alts are decoupling from Bitcoin.
Okay, so this is a problem I have with news altogether, right? And we all see this with um, with CNN and Fox News on politics. But even in the financial sector, they always contradict themselves. Okay, so Bank of America is working with crypto now. We saw that months ago. Um, right here, right? They were using. Let's see. Bank of America is trading Bitcoin Ether as cash will let you purchase crypto with credit cards. Okay, this was June 30th, 2020. Now, as of today, Bank of America calls Bitcoin impractical, and crypto community has a lot to say about that. So, Bank of America, right? Last year, they were saying, oh, Bitcoin is a go-to. Ether as cash will let you purchase. So they were working with Bitcoin. Now, all of a sudden, since China has declared that their banks won't use Bitcoin, Bank of America took their word back and said now it's impractical. So it's all building to find which coin that these banks will use. We all knew, right, that Bitcoin wasn't going to last. Me and you talked, Carlos.
Bitcoin's not going to, bro.
There's no fundamentals behind Bitcoin. It was just the gold standard that created this cryptocurrency industry, but it has no fundamentals behind it. Elon Musk talks about it. There's so many people saying that if Bitcoin cannot jump on board to today's needs, it's going to be left behind. Just like any country that's not going to be using cryptocurrency is going to be left behind. So now we're starting to see the realism come into play with Bitcoin. To me, 60,000. Unfortunately, there were still people saying, "Oh, I think it's going to hit 300,000 tomorrow or whenever." So they're going to buy it. Well, guess what? Bitcoin banks, the institutions, and Bitcoin whales said, "Okay, I've made millions. It's time for me to sell because I know when something is this high, it's going to crash soon." And so when everyone's thinking that, again, the masses create the movements, and they all sold. So the fools that were buying at 50 and 60 are now literally losing millions of dollars while others are making millions of dollars. That's why the goal of trading is common sense: buy low and sell high. Why in the world? And I'm gonna pick on those who bought Bitcoin up here because I've been stressing that that's not the goal of trading. The goal of trading is to buy here. Well, I'm looking at the market cap. Even if you was buying Bitcoin, you should treat it like it's a temporary asset. 48 out at 56. If you're buying Bitcoin today for long term, you're a fool. The only reason that we're buying XRP long term is because we bought way back here. And look what it done. We sold out. Not saying I sold out. I'm still hanging on because this, to me, yeah, that's a good profit, but it's nowhere near what Bitcoin hit. And now I'm watching the news, and this doesn't scare me at all. This small pullback does not scare me at all. We're all buying more. Okay, but if you bought up here and now you're here and you decide to sell, yeah, you're a fool too.
Mm-hmm.
But Bitcoin, to buy anything 60,000 up here and then it crash, yeah, that's foolish.
Yeah. And I think, in my opinion, today we're going to get news for XRP. I really feel XRP is what they're going to lean towards, because you already had Elon say what the energy consumption needs to be, and it's exactly what XRP's energy consumption is. You had Rosie Rios yesterday come out on an interview, and she used to sign everybody's money, and now she works for Ripple. And you heard her say yesterday the train has already left. She said crypto's not going anywhere, and she said that Ripple is a company that's pretty much the only crypto to her that makes sense right now. So for her to say those things and then to also go and work for them, they're setting up something here. So in my opinion, XRP is we're gonna hear a lot of news here, and you're gonna hear a lot of people, a lot of these Bitcoin people mad. I don't think Bitcoin's over yet though, bro. I don't feel it is. I think they're gonna pull. I think they're gonna pull one more off on Bitcoin, because you're hearing also a lot of like, oh, it's going to go green, windmills, this and that. I think they're gonna pull one more. I think there's so many people that want to hold on to Bitcoin so bad. I think they're gonna pull it off one more time, even if it's double again, even if it's just to 60,000. They're going to pull it off. But I'm hearing a lot of 250 from analysts and stuff like that. I mean, it might get 250, but that would be, I don't know, that would be 5 years from now, 10 years from now. If it hangs around, it could just switch. It could just crash out, and then now we're in the use case. You're going to see all these cryptos just fall off, and if you don't have any of the use case companies holding on to them, you're done.
You're done.
Well, I'm not saying Bitcoin. I mean, gold. That's like saying gold is irrelevant. It's not irrelevant. Yeah. Gold still is being traded seasonal. So is silver. You know, that's ultimately a commodity and a backing. But look at what Wells Fargo says. It says it moves to follow its peers Morgan Stanley's endeavor to start offering clients access to 3 Bitcoin funds. So this whole scare tactic by China, and you can't tell me that China, we all say it together, China owns the world. You know, they have a lot of influence on a lot of stuff, unfortunately, because we've allowed it to happen. And what they said the other day, by they're not letting banks right now, they banned crypto. I guarantee in 3 months, they're going to take that back, and they're going to start offering banks the ability to trade crypto again. Because look what Wells Fargo just done. It's allowing their clients to have access to 3 Bitcoin funds. Now, come on. That was a way on the 18th, during when China said that, during the night, they specifically crashed the market on purpose. That's all.
Yep.
Signal showed it. It was coming. It was just a matter of someone forcing the hand. And China's the one that's forcing the hand of a lot of stuff. Unfortunately, crypto is supposed to be decentralized, not impacted by any political movements, any news, or anything, but people still allow it to happen. They freak out, and the whales are probably political involved, and they too are the cause of this.
Yeah. Not only that, though, they control, like, everyone's seeing that it's centralized. They control 80% of the mining. They can pretty much. They can control Bitcoin in China if they want, you know?
Now, I want to hit on this topic real quick. They didn't say they banned cryptocurrency trading between peer to peer. All they're saying is they banned the financial payment institutions for cryptocurrency business. That's it. They don't want their Chinese banks accepting SafeMoon, right?
Yeah.
They don't want Chinese banks accepting Doge because they know the volatility in them and they know the relevancy of these coins. That's all they're saying. They don't want their banks to get overwhelmed with bullshit coins and to start taking them in because they're not going to let their banks crash. It would be irresponsible for China not to ban this right now.
Yeah.
It's actually a good move. I'm giving them credit, unfortunately, to say that was a good move. Because you and I both know if the Chinese bank starts accepting Doge or SafeMoon, and it comes to find out that SafeMoon, to us, we've been trading it. We know the risk. But why should a bank get into such risky assets? It would be stupid on their behalf. And unfortunately, I think there's a lot of uneducated financial people out there that would get into it, and even the banks, there's some shitty leadership in the financial markets. So they strictly was looking out for their economy. I'm not going to be surprised if you see the SEC in 2 or 3 months they're hammering down on what is allowed in the crypto markets and get their hands in on this. I mean, we're already seeing it with Ripple, right?
Yeah.
So the clarity needs to be there for us. I wouldn't want you guys getting into a shitty coin and then it ended up being a Ponzi scheme and it takes your money.
Yeah. I wouldn't get into
Bitcoin. Into good fundamental stuff. XLM. You read the XLM fundamentals and that's why I'm trading it because it makes sense to me. I'm not going to trade SafeMoon. Yeah, I might throw $50 at it, but I can risk to lose $50. There's guys out there trading on 100,000 of SafeMoon. Yeah, they made their millions, but was it a stupid move? Most certainly. Is it stupid if it works? That's you to argue. Yeah, it worked, but how many people might go do it now and get burned on it? I mean, it's still going up, it goes down, but in the long run, we need some clarity of what really these companies are about. And you go to their white papers and they talk about it, but are they legit? Yeah. The devil's advocate is the SEC. It's out there to protect us, but it can also burn us too. I mean, it burned us Ripple investors right now, but hopefully they get defeated. I think it just needs a restructuring, that's for sure. But there does need some bit of clarity in all these coins. There's so many that we could be trading. But which ones are legit and which ones are just a scam?
Yeah.
All right. Any questions?
No, man. I mean, we're kind of covering the crash, and we kind of see what's going on. I think we just wait and see this weekend. We see how this weekend pans out. I'm curious what's going to happen with the Ripple lawsuit today. We'll see if some good news comes out, and then all of a sudden, crypto just starts going upwards because of the good news. We don't know. We don't know what the whole setup is, bro. We just know it is.
I don't know why. That's still shitty. What? This is only showing 2020 of the SPY, which the SPY has been out longer than that, so I don't really understand why this is happening. But so you want to talk about the stock market crash real quick, right? You remember what happened in 08?
Yeah.
I discussed this signal. Yeah. Well, this cheeker span starting to hit. And guess what? Will it be a big crash? Not compared to 2008, but there will be a crash. There will be a 20, 30, 40% drop here in the next couple weeks or soon.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. It's not financial advice, as always.
No, the housing market is going to crash too, bro. Coming fall. I just because I was talking to me and my brother were talking to our real estate agent. And he was like, I would suggest just don't buy right now. Even though, because he's like a family friend.
Friend?
Dude's been around for years. He's like 80 years old, and he was like, I don't want you guys to buy right now. There's a bubble. There's so many foreclosures that are pre-foreclosed right now on the market. He's all by September. He says you're going to see tons of foreclosures hit the market.
Oh yeah, yep.
So
People's buying, and then when the market crashes, now they can't afford to keep their homes, just like they did in '08. There's always a great inflation, and then when the inflation happens, if you're smart enough, you get out early. But if you're stuck in it, then guess what happens?
yeah.
On down you go.
And when you see
Unfortunately.
Guys like Michael Burry, bro, betting against Tesla, putting down $500 million, bro, it's because he sees something.
Yeah, I used to be against charts, and because I always believed holding long term. But then I realized when I held long term and stuff dropped, I didn't take advantage of the recovery because I didn't have any liquidity to me. I didn't have cash to get into the low times. So you should always be diverse. That's why we're doing the short term trading, we're doing the long term staking, and then taking profits in USD when we want to too, because obviously all three matter.
Yeah.
Trading and investing matter. You have to trade, invest, and stake. And staking is investing. But you have to also pull your profits and put them in other places when the time has come. You know, I don't compound my profits unless I want to make more money. But when you start doing that, you're also taking the risk. And when we're at a bubble or an inflation like this, if you're not taking profits, then shame on you. Because when I was trading 5,000, then I started trading 10,000, then I was up 15, then I was up 20. And if I had not compounded while we was growing, I wouldn't be up to that. I would still be stuck at trading 5,000. But for someone beginning to get into this, 500 to 250, 5% and 10% returns are still pretty good. When you get into thousands and you're up this high, now it's starting to put more risk, because if you're compounding your profits and not taking any, now guess what? You're risking yourself on that upside or downside potential that's going to happen, and it did happen in crypto. So what I was doing a little bit of both. I was compounding my trades. You know, the profits that I would make, I would put back into the market. But then I started realizing, well, we're getting into this, and this is the stock market. So go back to crypto. I was going to show you something, but for some reason I can't pull the history up. But this is what the daily looks like, right? We had this big increase back here in 2018. Then we retraced. Now here's a bigger inflation, much more back here. And now we're starting to retrace. So when I started climbing at XLM, I was compounding, and then I started pulling profits and then just trading with a flat rate. So if I had 5 grand, 10 grand, I would stay at 10 grand. If I made 2,000, I would put that 2,000 over in the staking rewards, USD, or just pay myself.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's enough. Yeah, the charts do matter. I was never a strong believer, but when I really started trading crypto, and thanks for you, Carlos, you got me involved in it. You know, when we was back here, I was like, yeah, there's just no relevancy in crypto right now. I don't see anything. And then when I talked about, or when I told you, I said, yeah, I'm starting to see banks get involved. My USAA account was allowing me to tie in crypto. That's when I started seeing the importance, or it became relevant. You know, people were starting to utilize it the right way. Even the hedge fund back here, he's talking about how crypto has a use. So you're going to see more and more of it. This is just the beginning phases of the crypto and the legit, or the financial sector among Wall Streeters. You know, back here, This was guys in the underground investing, and now you're starting to see Wells Fargo, Wall Street, Squawk Box, Jim Cramer, all the guys talk crypto. So now you're building this relevancy up, and now we hit a dip, and that dip is just because people want in at a cheaper price. So the hand was forced by China, by banks. That's all we're seeing. We're seeing these prices get matched because now banks are seeing the importance of it, so they want in how we were in back here. That's it.
Yep.
All right, you got anything, Carl?
Nah, dude, that's it, dude. I mean, yeah, let's hope. Let's hope for a flip here. I mean, let's hope for. I truthfully, honestly, I don't hold Bitcoin, so I don't care about Bitcoin. You know what I mean? But I do understand how it controls the market, and I'm hoping for some decoupling here real soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to be trading Bitcoin. I mean, to me, it's just it's at a price where it's not worth it to me. You know what I mean. I'm not a bank. I'm not going to be using it. Um, for me, it's XLMs, XRPs, stuff like that. That's what I want to.
Yep.
That's what I want to invest in.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's it, man. That's all. I mean, all I can say is, yeah, we just got to hold on and wait. This weekend's more important than a lot of people like. They don't realize like if something doesn't switch over by this weekend, like Chris said, then yeah, unfortunately the next 2 weeks we're gonna see a bear, and then the next couple weeks we just gotta wait it out. Here's the important thing right now, though. What do you think, Chris? If people are up right now, I mean, I'm not touching. I wouldn't touch my XRP or my XLM. I'm not touching that. Do you think people should be taking profits here real soon?
I think they should definitely re-strategize their strategy.
Yeah.
They should be thinking about what happens for the next time. You know, there's always going to be these big dips.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, they're just retracing. They are.
Yeah.
They're just bears or bulls making profits, and it's pulling back, and then it gives us a chance to buy in cheaper again. So yeah, anyone should be taking profits in certain points. It depends on their financial needs. You know, are you doing this full time, and this is your sole income, or are you've got another a way to provide income to you and your family? But yeah, I think that anyone should be pulling small profits here and there as much as they need, but also the more money you have, the more money you make in trades. But don't risk more than you can ever afford to lose. I always stress that. You know, me and you have grown a lot in in crypto over the short amount of time I came from stocks. So our funds are a lot more larger, so we make bigger trades. But still, I never want to say we should get greedy. You know, be smart, trade with $10,000, $20,000 lots if you can afford it, and you're going to make 10%, 5% even. I mean, even someone making $500 a day today and as an income, that's pretty daggone good when there's unfortunately a job loss out there, and most people can't even get by making $20 an hour, and here you are making $400 and $500 an hour for a couple of hours a day of work in the crypto market. So yeah, you should definitely consider trading, but don't risk more than you can afford to lose. So yeah, you should take profits.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. If you did buy something like VeChain and you bought it at 0008, and yeah, VeChain is going to probably change um, the way things are done. They're going to be around forever. But it's like Chris said, it just depends where you're at. If you have money coming in and you're like, I can hold and I can keep that big old bag, but if you're like, I need to take profits, then pull some profits off the top.
Each his own, man. I mean, there's different strategies out there for different people. And I'm just reading what Reggie had to say. You know, some people are here for the DeFi portion of it, and being diverse in everything. You know, DeFi trading, all of it, because you're your own bank now. And in this crypto sector, I can lend out my crypto, and I can what's called staking, right? You know, we stake our crypto in liquidity pools for the exchanges, and that's a different strategy versus putting it into a liquidity pool for the Flare network or whatever you were showing us in the last couple of weeks ago. But to put it in an exchange and earn when it's insured, that's definitely a good safe strategy. You're seeing Nexo have what 100 million in insurance, right? And now they're working on getting it up to 1 billion. So what's that tell you? Their ability in the crypto market is growing, and their confidence in being able to have that big insurance rate. There's more and more people. To me, that says there's more and more billionaires inside the crypto world than what we know, because they're needing to insure $1 billion to each person. So if I lose, $1 million, they're going to be able to give me that money back by either, if it gets hacked or whatever. Now, if I lose it myself, that's on me. Obviously, when you see insurance, it doesn't mean you can go blow it and then they're going to insure you back. You can't make a claim on it. You can only make a claim on something that gets hacked or, whatever happens that way. But what I'm saying is, yeah, to earn 6%, 10% in a year, that's way better than a standard bank. So everyone should be definitely considering their future in crypto and how they're going to change their personal wealth.
Yep. Yep, dude. I agree, man. All right, brother. Well, let's I guess I don't know if something comes up, we'll jump back on, but otherwise, yeah, dude, let's end this and then we'll figure out. I mean, we're all here. We need to strategize. You guys just message in the box, and no matter what, any of us will answer, me or Chris will answer.
Yep, that's what we're here for.
Yep. All right, man.
All right, man.
I'm gonna stop it here.
Let me know